My name is Ashley, and I'm 39 years old. Before all this, I worked as an administrative assistant, and I really loved my job. It wasn't just the work itself, it was the people. My coworkers were kind and supportive. We shared jokes, looked out for each other, and made even the busiest days feel a little lighter. That sense of belonging gave me purpose. I never minded waking up early or staying a bit late. I felt proud of the work I did, and I appreciated the life I had. Still, there were days when I felt a quiet sadness settle in. I had never married, and sometimes, watching my friends get engaged or start families stirred something inside me. I'd smile for them, genuinely happy, but inside I'd wonder, will I ever have that? Will I always be alone? Then came Michael. He was 5 years older than me and worked with a partner company. We met through work. At first, it was all professional emails and polite meetings, but slowly, we started talking more, sharing little things about our lives, laughing over coffee breaks. One thing led to another, and eventually, we started dating. After a few years, we got married. I was so happy. Michael was kind, thoughtful, and steady. He had a calm way of making me feel safe. I truly believed we were building something beautiful together. Michael had a daughter, Lisa, from a previous marriage. She was 17 when I officially became her stepmother. I'd met her a few times before, and though she didn't say much, she seemed polite enough. I could tell she adored her dad. Her eyes lit up whenever he entered the room. I admired their bond and hoped, in time, that Lisa and I might grow close too. After we got married, I made a big decision. I left my job to focus on being a homemaker. I wanted to support Michael and Lisa, to give them a warm and peaceful home. I cooked healthy meals, kept the house clean, and tried to make it a place they looked forward to coming back to. At first, I tried to gently connect with Lisa, asking how her day was, offering to make her favorite meals, inviting her to join me in small tasks, but her responses were always short. Sometimes, she wouldn't even look at me. I figured she just needed time. Weeks turned into months, and months into years, but nothing changed. Lisa kept her distance. Whenever I spoke to her, she'd either ignore me or give one-word replies. It stung, but I told myself to be patient. Our only shared connection was Bruce, the family cat. He had been with Michael for years. Bruce liked to sneak out on little adventures but always came back. He became my quiet companion during the long, lonely days. I'd talk to him like a friend, and sometimes I caught Lisa watching us from the hallway, but she never said anything. Then, one day, something surprising happened. Lisa spoke to me first. My heart lifted for a moment. Maybe, just maybe, this was a turning point. But instead of kindness, her words were like ice. "How long are you planning to stay here? Can you leave soon? You're in the way." I was stunned. I tried to respond, but the words wouldn't come. She continued, her voice steady but sharp. "I love my dad. It was always just the two of us. Then you came along. You try too hard. It's annoying. I thought if I ignored you, you'd leave." It felt like someone had pulled the rug out from under me. Everything I had done, all the meals, the conversations, the attempts at closeness, meant nothing to her. She saw me as an obstacle, an intruder. After that, things got worse. Lisa started mocking my cooking, saying terrible things behind closed doors. "Dad deserves someone better than you," she'd say when he wasn't around. But in front of him, she'd smile, compliment my meals, act like everything was fine. It was like she wore two faces, and Michael never saw the one she showed me. I wanted to tell him, so many times. I stood in front of the mirror, practicing what I'd say, but every time, I stopped myself. He was always busy, always tired. I didn't want to burden him. I told myself I could handle it. But the truth was, I was slowly breaking. Michael's job began requiring him to travel more. He'd be gone for days, sometimes weeks. That left me alone with Lisa, and the insults became a daily thing. She'd refuse to eat my cooking, criticize everything I did, and act like I didn't exist, except when she needed someone to blame. I felt like a stranger in my own home, not a wife, not a stepmother, just invisible. I told myself to hold on. Lisa would eventually move out, find her own path, and maybe, just maybe, things would finally quiet down. But the waiting was hard, and one day, during another string of cruel remarks, something inside me just snapped. I had tried for so long to be patient with Lisa. For years, I'd endured her coldness, her sharp comments, and the way she seemed to treat me like I was nothing more than an unwanted guest in my own home. I had kept my feelings hidden, choosing peace over conflict, hoping that one day she would soften and come to accept me, but that day never came. Instead, the tension kept growing. Every time Michael was away, Lisa's behavior became bolder, harsher. The things she said to me were no longer just dismissive or rude, they were cruel. And then, one ordinary afternoon, when she once again criticized the meal I'd cooked and accused me of trying too hard to take her father away, something inside me broke. For the first time in all those years, I didn't stay quiet. I couldn't. I looked her straight in the eye and told her how I truly felt. I reminded her that she was now an adult, working and earning her own money, and maybe it was time she considered living on her own. My voice was calm, but firm. It shocked her. Lisa stared at me like she didn't recognize me. She asked why I was suddenly talking back. She was angry, confused, but I didn't back down. I told her the truth, that I was tired of walking on eggshells in my own home, of being treated like a stranger in the family I had tried so hard to care for. That conversation took a terrible turn. Before I could process what was happening, Lisa lunged at me, gripped my arm tightly, and dragged me outside. I was stunned. I tried to pull away, to tell her to stop, but her anger gave her a kind of strength I hadn't seen before. She pulled me all the way to the shed at the back of the yard, a place we barely used. She shoved me inside and slammed the door shut behind me, locking it with a heavy click. I was trapped. I banged on the walls and called her name, but she didn't respond. Instead, through the door, she told me she was leaving for a trip and that she'd be back in 5 days. 5 days, and then she added, almost carelessly, that Bruce, our cat, would be fine because he had an automatic feeder. Then, she said the words that left me cold. "This is what you get," she hissed, "for stealing my dad from me." And then she left. I stood there, in the darkness of the shed, trembling. My whole body felt cold, and my heart pounded so loudly in my chest I thought I might faint. 5 days, locked in a shed, how could she just walk away like that? But then, through the panic, I remembered something. My phone. It was in my back pocket. With shaking hands, I pulled it out and saw that, thank God, it still had battery. I called the one person I could count on, my friend Samantha. Within what felt like only moments, I saw light pouring in from the now open door, and there she was, Samantha, breathless and wide-eyed with worry. She hugged me tightly and insisted I come home with her. I didn't even have my house keys. I had nothing, and Michael was away on business. That night at Samantha's place, I finally had space to breathe. I told her everything, from Lisa's hateful words to her cruel decision to lock me away like I was nothing. Samantha's face changed as she listened. She looked both angry and deeply sad. "She's jealous," she said after a long silence. "She probably sees you as the one who came in and changed everything between her and her dad. But Ashley, just because she's family doesn't mean she can treat you like this. That's not love, that's control." Her words made something click inside me. She was right. For too long, I'd been trying to earn Lisa's love by shrinking myself, by staying quiet, by giving and giving while getting nothing in return. Later that night, I texted Michael. I told him what had happened, not in anger, but in honesty. I didn't ask him to come home, but in my heart, I hoped he would. And he did. He called right away, his voice shaking with emotion. "I'm coming to get you," he said, "right now." It was a 3-hour drive, but he didn't hesitate. When he arrived, he looked exhausted but determined. He held me close, apologized over and over, and listened as I told him every detail of what happened. Samantha gently reminded us that Lisa needed consequences, and maybe even a wake-up call to understand just how serious her actions had been. And that's when the plan started to form. We decided we needed to confront Lisa, but not with yelling or guilt. No, we needed something that would make her stop in her tracks and think. So we waited for her to return. We made the shed look like something terrible had happened, enough to shake her and make her confront what she had done. When Lisa arrived and saw the shed, she looked panicked. She rushed toward it, calling out for Bruce, and when she opened the door and smelled the staged scene, she froze. We stepped out to meet her. She looked at us, confused, eyes darting between the two of us. "What happened?" she asked, trying to sound casual. Michael's face was stern. He wasn't angry, he was heartbroken. "We need to talk," he said, "right now." At first, Lisa tried to play it off. She even said she thought Bruce might have gotten trapped in there, not realizing she'd left me in that same shed for 5 days. I couldn't hide my shock, and neither could Michael. "You forgot you locked her in?" he asked, stunned. "That's not a prank, Lisa, that's dangerous." Lisa looked defensive. I didn't think she'd still be there. I didn't think it was that serious." That was the breaking point. Michael sat her down and told her, very calmly, that her actions had crossed a line, that she had put someone's life in danger, not just anyone, but the woman he loved, and that her behavior could no longer be ignored or excused as teenage jealousy. Lisa tried to argue, said she acted out of love, said that I never belonged, said she was only doing what she had to do to get her father back. But Michael stood firm. "This isn't love," he said, "this is control, this is cruelty, and it has to stop." Then, with a heavy heart, he told her the words I never imagined I'd hear him say. "You need to leave." Lisa froze. "What?" "You're an adult now," he continued, "and until you can take responsibility for your actions, you can't live here. You hurt someone I care about deeply. I can't look away from that." Lisa turned to me, her eyes brimming with tears. "Ashley, say something, please." But I stayed beside Michael. "It's time for you to move forward, Lisa. This home is for love and peace, and you need to find your own space to grow." And so, Lisa left. She packed a small bag and walked out the door, angry, hurt, and unready to understand the full weight of what she'd done. In the days that followed, she sent messages, long, rambling texts about her struggles, her regrets, her frustrations. She apologized but kept making excuses. She asked for advice but didn't seem willing to change. Michael and I both agreed, we couldn't let her back in until she was ready to take real responsibility. Now, our house is quiet, peaceful. Michael and I sit together in the evenings, sharing tea and laughter. Bruce curls up in my lap, purring softly. There are no more insults, no more tension. Just us, our little family, learning how to heal, day by day. And in that silence, in that softness, I finally feel at home.